Ladies and gentlemen, now please give it up for the brilliant Once Upon a Time. We have Meghan Ory and Beverley Elliott.
You all look lovely.
Yeah, hi, what a great group. Nice to see you.
I've already seen loads of cosplayers from both of you this weekend, and I can see quite a few in this audience today. It's amazing. What is it like for the both of you to come to London to see us, and then you see all these people that are dressing up as Red, they're dressing up as Granny?
Oh, it's so amazing. I've seen some incredible costumes. You guys are so creative and talented. Like, it's very impressive.
And dedicated. It's great. We need the fans. We love the fans. So thank you so much. We love it, love it, love it. This is our first big convention. I did a small one, and this is Meghan's first one. So it's a great eye-opener, and welcome to the con life. You guys are crazy and wonderful. Thank you. Good night.
Now, Once Upon a Time is, and rightfully so, an amazingly popular program. When, for the both of you, did you realise how massive it's become? Not just stateside, but globally.
Well, go ahead.
No, I think people seem to really kind of fall into the world very quickly, I think, when season 1 aired. And it was really exciting to sort of feel everyone's enthusiasm and, you know, online. And second season I went to the San Diego Comic-Con, and everyone was just so excited, and like there were like the fans, you guys are just amazing, and the support is fantastic, and everyone just loves it, and you know, like we all appreciate your support so much. It's just so, it's overwhelming to see. You know, it's so nice when you are creating something that, you know, we feel very strongly about and love so much, and you never know what's going to connect with other people, and it's just so nice that people seem to be liking it.
For me, I totally agree with everything you just said. And for me, when I went on Twitter, because I didn't have a Twitter account, I'm a little older than everyone else, and I'm catching up all the time, and the 7 Dwarfs helped me get on Twitter, and they helped me pick a name, and as soon as I got on, I think within the first 10 minutes, I had 100 followers. It's like, what? And then, you know, and shortly after that, you know, I just kept building and building, and I said yesterday, I don't know if anyone was here, I'm sorry to repeat myself, but on my birthday, New Year's Eve, I just put on Twitter, it's my birthday today, and within 15 minutes I had people from Spain and Kuwait and Italy and Argentina, just the entire world going, happy birthday. And that's what's, you know, the first season, we knew we were part of something special, and it just kept taking off. And so Twitter has changed the world, clearly, because you can hear from people in an instant, and that's how we know, you know, right away.
So I'm gonna I know there's gonna be hundreds of questions, so I'm just gonna let loose to you guys. If you have a question you'd like to ask the panel, stick your hand up. I just knew it. It's right now. I'm gonna start with this gentleman first.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question for both of you. What would be your best memory from shooting the episode?
Oh, so many good memories. Oh, you know what I really loved? We did Red-Handed in season 1, and there was the night when I turned into the wolf. Do you remember we did that? And we were up on a mountain, and it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and that was real snow. It looked fake, but it was real, and it was freezing, and my toes were frozen, and I remember I had all these hot shots in my toes. We were all sitting in the tent and drinking tea and like shivering and freezing, but it was so much fun because like the scene was really intense, and like all this stuff was happening, and it was just, I don't know, it just was very special.
It's so magical, it really is. One of my favorite, and I love the entire episode of Red-Handed. It was my favorite episode, clearly because it featured our storyline, but also the days where there's the entire cast on set, whether someone has just died or someone's returned home and because our curse is broken, but when there's a whole bunch of cast members. When we were saying goodbye to Emma when she was driving over the line with her car and we're all waving goodbye and crying, it's so funny because we're all standing there just talking like, oh yeah, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. And they'll go, okay, action. And cut. So yeah, anyway, I was going to go back and fun. Where did you buy that? Nice. So those days are hilarious. It's like a big party.
So we have a question just down the front.
Yesterday you said you'd really like to do a Once Upon a Time musical episode, so I was wondering if you could actually get to pick the songs for your characters to sing. What songs you would actually pick?
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf.
Granny, what's that song by the Beach Boys? Go, Granny, go. What is that song, you know? Go, but the Fonz would know it, it's his decade. Yeah, you know, something about somewhere over the rainbow. Anything from Disney.
And we have a happily dressed person.
Hi. I just wondered how you got involved in the show, because it's so unique in that the characters already exist and people have already grown up with these characters and you get to take them on and make them your own and change them. I just wondered how you got involved in it and how you feel about taking on characters that people don't know.
Well, it's pretty iconic, you know, I agree that people have grown up with these characters, and I think Adam and Eddie have done, and the producers of the show have done an amazing job, not just us, but of casting all the parts. Like, when someone new shows up on site, you go, oh, that's what Ariel looks like, and she looks like Ariel to me. I think the casting is phenomenal on this show. And it's a responsibility to, you know, take these childhood memories and these cellular memories and manifest it into real people. But once again, the writers do such a great job, and who knew that Granny was going to be so crusty and tough and, you know, carry a crossbow. I like that I'm not milking cookies, and I have that side too, but we just trust our acting ability and the writers and the directors that come on set, and it all kind of comes together.
And I think one of the things for me that's been really exciting from the beginning is because these are such iconic stories and you have all this mythology that goes behind a lot of the fairy tales and where they've come from, is it's kind of a neat thing to sort of tinker around with and play with. And you know, the story of Red Riding Hood, for instance, was like a cautionary tale for young women to be aware of predatory men, which is one of the reasons why during the curse, Ruby was so kind of, you know...
I didn't like that.
It's sexual, if you can say that. But that was why, because it was sort of drawing on sort of the reversal of what the story actually was. And I think that that's, you know, it was brilliant of the producers to come up with, and how they did that with all the characters, and really fun to play with.
And make them strong and edgy. I like that. That it's not soft and sweet. It is fairy tales for primarily an adult audience, you know, 13 and up. So they're edgier than we grew up with. Look at all these questions. Yes.
I have a question from this lady over the front still.
Hi. Just out of curiosity, if both of you could play any other character from the show aside from the ones that you play, which ones would you like to play and why?
Rumpelstiltskin's so much fun.
Yeah, he's so good. I think it'd be fun if we just did an episode where everybody just changed characters and just saw if anybody noticed, because they would all be fun to play because they're all so unique and interesting.
Lana gets to wear the best clothes, I think. Like, holy Dinah. You could be the evil queen.
I think Lana and I talked about that in season 2, that we thought for a minute that Red was maybe going to go bad, and that she wanted me to come over to the dark side with her, be her wolf. Which I think would be pretty funny.
Interesting.
And we have a question over to the side here.
Hi there. Just wondering, when you were cast, were you told about the twist to the Little Red Riding Hood story? Or did you only find out when you got the script?
Not when I was cast, but the boys told me, I think around episode 3 or 4, that was coming, which was really helpful because it was neat to sort of incorporate that into things, knowing that was coming up. But yeah, I think they knew from the beginning, but they didn't tell me for a little bit.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. Left in the dark.
And a question from this lady here.
What was your favourite scene to film in the whole of Once Upon a Time?
Well, our scene in the restaurant was pretty nice. At the end of Red Handed, when you came back in and you apologized, and I was trying to be all tough, but I couldn't because my heart was melting, because I really do love Ruby. That was great.
I kind of love the scene that we did in the pilot. When I run downstairs, because it was so fun, and it was the first, it was the first thing, and nobody knew what was going to happen with the show, if it was going to get picked up, and we just had, a really fun sort of,
you were so
dynamic, sort of sassing each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like when Granny and Red are a bit sassy.
When we're sassy, I know we need more of that in season 4.
And we can get in a fight again.
Or now.
You have a question here, gentlemen?
I don't know how much anyone else has stayed up to, so I don't want to spoil it.
No spoilers. We promised some young guys, some young boys, that we wouldn't spoil, because a lot of people haven't seen season 3, so thank you for that.
I'm guessing that next season is going to be quite snowy and icy, so will we be seeing much of the wolf?
Ooh.
It would make sense.
It would make sense. It would make sense. We don't know. We don't know what's happening next season. So we can't spoil anything because we just don't know.
And we're not lying. Like really, they keep all the cards close to the chest, just so we don't spoil it. And then we kind of get the script and go, what? Oh my God, I'm saying that.
It's like opening your presents, before your birthday. You don't really want to do it, even though you kind of do. But you don't really want to. Or I don't, anyways. Maybe you do.
But that's the scuttlebutt. Things are going to get cold.
Oh, it's going to be cold. A lot of long underwear.
Yep.
And a question from this lady here?
Unfortunately, can we expect more of Red Riding Hood in the 4th season?
Well, yeah, Intelligence is cancelled, sadly, but I think that would make sense that, as of right now, I have some more time on my hands, so that's up to the writers, obviously, so I don't have control over that, but I will be around.
It also depends on what else gets offered to you. Like you're a happening thing out there. You might be scooped up on some other show and we'll be begging to get Red Riding Hood back. I hope you come back because we need more Granny Red storylines.
Well, I certainly hope that I'm back. It was fun. I may or may not appear at the end of season 3. It was very fun to may or may not have been there.
Very well put.
I have a question for Lily here.
Hi. I was just wondering, who's your favourite baddie that's been on the show?
Favorite, pardon?
Baddie.
Oh, we talked about that yesterday.
We did yesterday, so if you were here yesterday, you're going to hear the same answers. I really loved Rebecca Mader playing the Wicked Witch of the West. I thought she was fantastic, and just how she deliciously chewed up those lines and just loved, enjoyed being evil and mean, and looked great with green skin.
Yeah, I always loved Lana being bad. And actually, I'm just thinking about it, I really love the episode when Snow White goes bad. When she has the little red bow in her hair and she starts yelling at the birds and she drinks a potion. I think it was in season 1. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And we have a question here in the middle.
What's your favourite food at Granny's Diner?
Oh, good question. My favorite food at Granny's Diner. Well, the lasagna is a big hit, but do you remember when I told everybody that I don't make the lasagna? It's actually frozen, which I can't believe that I let that secret out. So I would have to say the burgers are pretty good. If you're in town, come by, I'll make you a burger.
The fries are really good.
The fries are great.
There's also, if you look behind the counter, there are, I think, 3 of those like juice dispenser things.
Yeah.
And if you notice, they're fluorescent. There's like fluorescent blue and fluorescent purple and yellow, and nobody knows what they are, but they look toxic.
And nobody ever drinks them.
No one ever does.
And all the prices at Granny's are like from the 1980s, so you can get a whole meal for $2.60, which would be probably £4.
Question here?
Hi, which couples would you really like to have their happy ever after?
Well, Well, obviously Snow and Charming have to be happily ever after at some point.
Oh, yeah.
They've been through quite a lot.
Rumple, Gold and Belle, like we would love them, but we can't tell you anything about the end of season 3, but I know there's a huge, huge fan base for that ship, and we want that to happen. Hook and Emma, how do you guys feel about that? Oh, yeah. Okay. How do you feel about Granny and Geppetto?
Yes. I want that one.
What about Red? Who should she be with? Dr. Whale? Who else? Grumpy? Sleepy? No way.
I'm just gonna eat them, so
you're gonna eat them.
It's not really a point, is it?
Okay, a question from Spider-Man.
Where are we? Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask. I just wanted to ask if where would you like your characters to go in the near future?
Well, I would, on that last note, I would like to see Red have some sort of closure to her unhappy ending with Peter and find some happiness with a partner. I think that would be nice. She's been through a lot.
I think Granny should franchise and open up a chain of grannies across every time zone. One in Neverland, one in Wonderland.
That's brilliant. I love that.
There we go. Write that down. Tweet that.
But if they did release a Granny's cookbook then, for both of you, what piece of your favourite food would you like to see in the Granny's cookbook?
Apple pie.
French fries.
maybe a special apple crumble, specific to Storybrooke. There's 2 or 3 different kinds of apples. Yeah, Storybrooke crumble.
Apples, I don't know. You don't want to eat an apple around Evil Queen.
I know, but it's kind of the fruit of the show, isn't it?
It's true. It's
fruit of the loom of the show.
Okay, my question for Megan here.
Hello, ladies. Megan, do you prefer to play Ruby or Red?
Which season, Ruby?
Which one?
I don't know. I have to say I really, really love playing Red in Fairy Tale Land because I just love being in the costumes. It's so beautiful. It's always so fun and so kind of magical. And we're always in the woods, kind of running around, even when it's raining. It's just really fun. But I love all the dimensions. I think it's one of the really fun things about the show is we all have one character, but it's 2 or 3 characters within a character, so it's sort of like discovering, if you go through something that creates a change in you, you have that change, but then you're going back and forth between before you had the change and then after the change, and so you're constantly sort of on your toes and exploring and finding new things about each character. And as an actor, it's really fun to play with.
And as a woman in her mid-50s, I understand that change you're talking about too. Really well. I go back and forth all the time.
And another aptly dressed person has a question.
Aptly dressed. You guys are all, there's Ruby.
Hi again. I was wondering, when are you going to start to film the next season?
The beginning of July.
July, yeah. So it should air in North America in September, probably early October, I think they start airing. So you guys can watch it online or download it. I think that is possible. So please do catch up to us.
I have a question from the lady in the middle.
Hi. Do you have a favourite retelling story tale apart from Red Riding Hood, of course?
I was a huge fan of The Little Mermaid growing up, so I was really excited when she came to Storybrooke. What was it last? I think it was the end of season 2. They started to do the teasing of The Little Mermaid, and they had just the arm that came up, and Grumpy was sitting on a bench somewhere, and somebody came and stole a fork. And I was really excited when I saw that.
Yeah. I grew up loving Red Riding Hood, believe it or not. I used used to play it when I was kids. I was a child. I was multiple personalities. We used to play Little Red Riding Hood. We'd reenact it all the time. So it was very cool when I got this fairy tale for my character. And I loved Cinderella, you know, pretty standard, but she got to wear the big dress and the loser slipper and the handsome prince and all of that.
There's some gentleman in the middle again.
What was your most funny episodes you acted?
Funny? I spilled a beer all over Robert Carlyle. Did you? I was serving him, yeah, and we did the scene quite a few times. Him and Belle were in Granny's Diner having a drink, and I walked over. I don't even know if I think I had a little scene with Belle beforehand, and then I came over, and I don't know what happened, but I got to the table, and the beer just went kaboom all over his lap. So that was kind of funny for me. I don't know if it was funny for Robert.
I'm sure you liked it.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a specifically funniest episode, but whenever it's dark out, keep in mind that usually means it's about 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning before the sun has come up. And when it's late and everyone gets punchy and people start laughing, and there's been a lot of days where just no one can say their lines because we're all just killing ourselves laughing.
It's so late. One episode recently, I think it was the second last one of the show, we stayed up till 6 in the morning, and for some reason,
at the diner. Was that one?
No, this was when we were downtown in Storybrooke, but we were sleeping at the vet. They didn't take us back. Our trailers were quite a ways away, so usually when you're not in the scene or you're not going to be in the shot, you can go back to your trailer and rest, or if you're not used for an hour or so. But for this one here, I don't think you were there at that point, but they kept us in this little holding area, and everyone was so tired. We kept thinking we were going to go to set any minute, but like Belle and Emily and Robert are both like laying. People are passed out on the floor and sleeping in chairs, and Tinkerbell, but she was feeling sick, so she just made a little bed for herself. It was so funny. It felt like we were at a pajama party because we were up all night, and people would wake up and tell a funny story and then go back to sleep. It was crazy.
We have a question just down the front. So over here. Sorry.
Did you study wolf behaviour to get the character read?
I did actually. I really like doing that kind of stuff because I'm a bit of a nerd.
Yeah, no, we gotta do it.
In season 2, in this episode when Belle gets kidnapped, there's a scene where Bobby and Josh and I are looking for her, and we're walking down the road, and I am sniffing her, and I had to sneeze, and I looked on YouTube up dog sneezes, so I tried to sneeze like a dog.
And how do dogs sneeze?
They kind of like, it's interesting, they kind of do this thing, like they're kind of surprised when they sneeze, and they kind of like shake their whole head like that. It's really cute actually. I don't know if I meant that off, but it was fun to watch a lot of puppies sneezing.
That's great, that's great.
And a question from a young lady here.
Which character development kind of shocked you the most when you were reading the script?
I find them all pretty shocking. I love how one of the things that I love about the show, when I'm just as a fan reading the scripts, is how, you'll hear a story about, a fairy tale about Red Riding Hood, I suppose, and you think it's a certain way, and then they totally turn it on its head, and it's always a way that kind of makes sense, and you think, oh, why didn't I think of that? Of course that's what it would be. But they just do it with everybody, and so it's always surprising and fun and interesting.
I was really surprised to find out who Pan really was. Do you guys know this? I don't want to spoil, that's in season 2. But who knows who Pan really ended up being? Like, was that not shocking? Yeah, that to me, I think I was just reeling through them, because I agree, there's so many twists, but when that was revealed, that was like, oh my goodness, it's just so smart how it all weaves together.
And a question for the lady at the front.
Not including Ruby and Granny, who's been your favourite character to play ever before?
To what?
Play in any other TV show before.
Oh. In any other a TV show.
Oh, other work that we've done. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I was just telling a story backstage. I did a mini-series years ago, because I've been working for 30 years as a character actor, so two things that come to mind quickly. I worked with Henry Winkler on a show called Dead Man's Gun, and I played a lady of the night, i.e. prostitute, and he is trying to offer me he wants my services, but he's a hangman, and he buys me a drink, and I say to him, I take the drink and I shoot it back, and then I go, I wouldn't sleep with you if you were the last man on earth, hangman, and then I walk away. And so it was very funny to have that little scene with him, but I couldn't drink the drink because it was tea. And I was 3 months pregnant at the time, and the tea made me nauseous. So I said to the props man right before we shot, I said, I need to have something else. And he goes, we can't, we're going to shoot, you got to drink it. And I go, no, I can't drink it. He goes, come on, just drink it, it's just tea. And I go, I can't drink it. And Henry Winkler says, why can't you drink the tea? I go, because I'm pregnant. And he goes, get this woman some herbal tea, she's pregnant. And I hadn't even told my mother yet. And here, like an entire crew of 90 people are going, oh, congratulations. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta phone my mom. But it was so funny to work with him. And then I did a mini-series with Christopher Reeves called Black Fox. And I, once again, played a prostitute hooker with a heart of gold. Typecasting, I know, I'm seeing a theme here. No, the research is exhausting. But I got to beat him up. I got to beat him up because once again, I wanted to give him my services. He wasn't interested. And so I said, hey, I'll give you what you want, and you give me what I want. And he says, I wouldn't sleep with you if you were the last woman on earth. So then I slammed his head at the table, punched him in the face, threw him on the floor, and kicked him in the stomach. Beat up Superman, basically.
That crossbow's not looking that scary anymore. That's a pretty hard question, but I think I know which one you're looking for. I did my first TV series was a show called Higher Ground, which I did with AJ Cook from Criminal Minds, who's my best friend still to this day, and Hayden Christensen from Star Wars, who you guys probably know, and Jewel State, and a bunch of other wonderful people. But yeah, it was my first TV series, so it will always hold a very special place in my heart because it was so fun, and I was young, and we're a bunch of kids, and we had this big trailer. I don't even think they have them anymore, but usually you have trailers that are just like a regular trailer with a door, and they're various sizes, but this one was like a double-decker bus, and the whole top floor of the bus were all rooms, so you had just like a little room that had a little couch in it.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah, I don't know, I haven't been in one since then, but it was really fun because you go up a staircase and there was, I think, 6 kids on the show, and all of our rooms were up there, so it was totally like being
summer camp,
yeah, and somebody would be playing guitar, and we just like kind of run back and forth to each other's rooms, and yeah, it was a very fun experience.
We're pretty lucky, like this business has some wonderful privileges to be in it, so yeah, totally grateful.
And we have a question still in the middle here, Michelle.
Well, Ginny and I always have so much fun when we're doing like Young Red and Young Snow stuff. Like one of our favorite scenes, well, I think it's up there with one of her favorites, but I won't speak for her, but the scene that we did in Red Handed, on the bed when we're talking, like I'm telling her that I like Peter, and we're talking about, boyfriends, and it's just like a very real kind of young girl moment that, I've certainly had with lots of my friends, especially when I was that age. And yeah, we always have fun exploring that friendship, and, I really love that it's a story of 2 women who, are really good friends. They're not competitive with each other, and they're like sisters, they're like family, and I love having that dynamic existing on TV because it's not something you see very often, and it's just like a pure, real friendship, and I always love when we go into that storyline. So more of that.
And I'm off to your left.
Yeah, you were just talking about the great friendship between women and mentioned more parts of women a second ago. Meghan, I know you did Vampire High. Do you think there are more opportunities for women in sci-fi and fantasy, and why do y'all think that is?
I absolutely think so. I mean, the show I just finished, Intelligence, was myself and Josh Holloway, and we were equal characters, and I was, a strong, tough, independent female character, and I feel like, and it was so well written, and there was nothing weak about her, and I feel like, I don't know what the difference is, but I do feel like there's a lot more opportunity for strong female characters and, women being able to hold their own rights alongside the male characters, and I think it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a slow change. I think it is changing. It's a slow change, but it's time, and I think people want to see that now. You guys want to see some more strong women characters out there? Yeah, tweet about it, write about it, talk about it, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, because it really makes a difference. I know from a lot of different people that write on shows and whatnot is the fan input. I mean, it might be because of the fan input. Maybe they never were able to hear how much diversity was wanted, and now they do because they hear your voices, and the power really is in your hands.
So down the front, the question's late.
Who's your best friend on set? And you can't say each other and why.
Oh, who's our best friend? I spend a lot of time with those 7 dwarves. So, I don't know who my best friend is. I love hanging out with Lee Ehrenberg. He cracks me up. He seems to have his finger on the pulse of whatever's going on. And, yeah, I don't know. I had a few good laughs with Rebecca Bader. It's hard. It's a really hard question.
That's a really hard question. I mean, everybody is together a lot, and everyone gets along really well, and I think we're all, it's kind of cliche to say, I know, but we're all pretty good friends. We're a family. We've been together now for 3 years, and
yeah, I've had some good heart-to-hearts with Raphael, Jiminy Cricket, and with Geppetto. His name's going right off my head right now.
Oh, Tony?
Tony, thank you so much. My boyfriend.
Your boyfriend?
This is my boyfriend in the show. But yeah, everybody's pretty great. Like, there's no divas on set. Lon is fantastic. Jennifer, everybody's working really hard, so a lot of times we don't have chitty-chat time, because people have a lot of lines to carry, but...
Yeah, no, it's a pretty great set, and it's really lovely.
All right, in the front again.
One of the most interesting things is how some characters appear in other fairy tales. So you have Rumple, Big Beast, and the Crocodile. If you could appear in any other fairy tale within the show, which would it be?
I was begging Adam and Eddie to let Red Riding Hood also somehow be Tinkerbell.
Oh, that would be cute.
Begging. I was like, I can wear a blonde wig, you guys. I mean, no one will recognize me if you don't want it to be the same character, because I also really love Tinkerbell.
Yes.
But the woman who played Tinkerbell was awesome, so I'm fine that I didn't get to go down that road, but that's definitely the one I wanted.
I don't know. Who could Granny be? Old Mother Hubbard? Goldilocks.
A lady of the night.
A lady of the night.
Yes, you could be Goldilocks.
I could be Goldilocks in her latter years. Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. If something comes to me, I'll let you know.
We have a question here as well.
Hi. Everyone on the show is really, really beautiful, and I was wondering, part of that is to do with the amazing costumes, and if you guys have any favourite costumes of yourselves or other people?
Eduardo, our costume designer, is phenomenal, and they build all of the fairy tale costumes themselves. So when you go into the wardrobe room, there's always some elaborate, gorgeous, like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen being created on a mannequin. And it's fun to just, I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you go into the back room in the wardrobe room, all of the costumes are just packed in bags even the, you know, the Black Knight costumes.
I know, that's what I was just thinking.
Phenomenal, like with their cool masks.
Yeah, very, very cool. I was just thinking of the Black Knights. In the last episode of season 3, there's all these Black Knights. We won't give any away, but phenomenal detail. Yeah. And of course, the evil queen gets to wear spectacular pieces.
And we're still in the middle.
So we've seen it a couple of times that Granny has also got like wolf instincts.
Yes.
We've been a bit about it in Red Handed, obviously. Now, how do you feel about seeing a Granny backstory? Do you think that'll ever happen in the show?
Wouldn't that be great, a Granny backstory? And I could have my red hair, Granny in the younger years.
And you could just play yourself.
I could play myself. Maybe a little song in there. I don't know. Yeah, and Granny's husband, who was that? We'd like to know. Yeah, so once again, it's out of our hands, but I am open for anything.
Granny singing in a tavern.
I know, maybe I used to work in a bar with Henry Winkler. That's a good idea.
Young man here.
Are we near the airport? Okay.
After Once Upon a Time, what's your next favourite TV series?
Oh, good question.
It's a hard one. I'm really into Game of Thrones right now, which is kind of, everyone is, aren't they?
Yeah.
So good.
We were asked this yesterday too. I like Downton Abbey. Love Downton Abbey. And for a good laugh, if I'm at all feeling down, I just put an episode of Modern Family on. Do you guys get that over here? Man, that's funny. That can make me laugh out loud every single time.
Yeah, it's good.
It's so good. I know that's light entertainment, but it makes me laugh. Just want to be happy.
And in the middle, towards the back.
Hi. The show has a lot of special effects, so I was wondering what is it about working with green screens and things that are not there and all kind of stuff. That kind of stuff.
Sorry, what was the question?
What was it like working with green screen and special effects?
It's definitely different. The way we do it is really neat because they have all of the tech people on set when we're shooting. So they have a screen, which when they line up, because we have a whole stage that's all green screen, the whole thing. And when you're lining up the shots, they do a really, really, really rough sketch of what it's going to look like. So for instance, in the finale, this won't give anything away, but there's a scene where we're going down the hallway. And it was really kind of confusing on the blocking on the green screen of like where the marks were, and you have to stop at a specific space. You can't overshoot it, or else you're standing in a river. But so you can then see on the camera or on the screen, sorry, what you're actually running through, and so you can see, oh, it's a dark hallway, and oh, the walls are actually really tight, or they're big, and it totally changes the whole sort of feeling of what you're like the landscape that you're in. And it's really pretty cool.
It's very cool, yeah, and it's also like you have to remember, oh yeah, I'm in a castle right now, because you're just sitting at a table with green walls all around you. So you have to, it's good to go actually look at the screen and see what it looks like, because otherwise when you're actually acting, it just looks like, oh, nothing going on here. But it's grand whenever they put the two together, so it's very useful to go and look.
Yeah, and I always find it funny when we do stuff with the Blue Fairy, because she's flying, obviously. So they have had all sorts of different things. One time, I think in the pilot, we had a tennis ball that was being suspended on a stick, or sometimes there'll be like a little cutout of a fairy, but somebody will be kind of doing this sort of behind your head, and you're like, don't laugh. We're supposed to be very serious right now. Yeah. Tell us wisdom, Blue Fairy, and don't laugh at this sticker that's,
and same when Jiminy Cricket comes in, because he's not, they put it in later, but you're really just talking to a ball or something.
Use your imagination, it's very good practice for that.
We have a question still in the middle here.
When characters speak, how do you handle that as a cast? Do you throw them off like send off, or
Yeah, when because well, we don't want to wreck season 3, but one of a pretty prominent character does leave, and there was a big night at a bar in town, and everybody went out dancing and celebrating and saying goodbye. So if someone's going back to LA, yeah. But sometimes not too, because they might come in and just have a short little arc, and then finish on a Monday, and everyone else just has to get up the next morning and shoot. So it just depends. But I think for the most part, you know, if somebody's made a big impact on the show, it's nice to send them off in a grateful way.
And we have a question from a young lady just down here. I'm going to have to try and move my way through. There you go. Thank you, guys.
Captain Hook is really funny and sarcastic. Is he like that in real life?
Yes.
And he's sexy in real life too. And has a little baby and a wife. He's lovely. Colin.
A question for this gentleman?
One of the great things about the show is just the family tree, I think. And apart from relationships mentioned earlier, what's your favourite character connection in terms of family?
I really loved the connection between Neil and Emma and Rumpel. I thought that was brilliant, and yeah, I loved that.
Yeah, I think I have to agree as well. Like first season, when we find out, Emma finds out that those are her parents, and her parents are the same age as her. That's kind of cool, but it takes it further when Rumpel and Neil get involved. Yeah.
And a question from the lady in the front.
Hi. You talked about shipping Granny and Geppetto.
Sure, yeah.
But if Granny can have a bit of a toy boy doing the cast, would you want?
Oh, a toy boy, wow. Huh? Wow, well, it's a really tough question because as somebody else said earlier, everyone is so good looking on the show. Everyone's pretty much married too. I don't want to break up any families. I don't know. Captain Hook is pretty nice to look at. So is Robin Hood. Robin Hood, Sean McGuire, is fantastic. I don't know. Let me think on that one too. I think those are my top 2. Well, Josh is crazy. Josh, what he does when he's in character is David in town, and I'm Granny. He'll walk by me and he'll whisper like rude and lewd things in my ear. Only when we're dressed in character. When we're afterwards, if I see him in his regular clothes, it's just, oh, hi Beverly, hi Josh. But when we're on set, he'll walk around, oh, Granny, yeah. But he's doing it for the crew, right? And I'm like, oh God, you know, just looking, oh, Granny, I'll get you alone in the back of the meat cooler. Wow. So that's kind of hilarious, and the crew cracks up. So we play that, but it's only when we're dressed in character, when we're real selves. It's like, it's back to being Mr. Ginny's husband. Baby to be, any minute now they're having their baby.
Maybe you should reverse the prank on him next time.
I think so. There you go. Yeah.
I got time for a question for single lady.
Yeah, hi. So I was wondering about the minor characters in the show, which one would you like to see more of?
The minor characters?
Yeah.
Like?
Yeah, the ones that don't been just like themselves.
I would like to see Cinderella come back, because I love Jessie Schreiner.
So good.
She was so great. I loved that episode.
Yeah. Like who? Name someone. Who else came in briefly?
I mean, there's so many people that just come for, you know, a minute. But I think it just seemed a continuation of.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to have him back again? He's so good. Such a good actor. Alan Dale. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't had any bad scenes. Like I said, we can't wait till this person gets out of here. No, the casting has been pretty phenomenal. And people come in because it's a happy show to be on. Because it's successful, I think it makes a difference if you're on a show that's doing well on the networks and people are watching. The vibe on set is really great. So when guest stars come in and people come in for a couple of episodes, they instantly become part of the family. and have a really great time and then leave. Because some shows you work on, you really are just there for a couple of days and it's got its own thing. But this is it's such an ensemble piece that I think guest stars really like coming in.
Yeah, and the thing that's nice too, which I'm sure you've all noticed, is that you might see somebody for a second in one season or one episode, and then they're back, 18 episodes later, or next year, or somebody dies, and then they're back, because there's so many different timelines that exist in the story that, you might say goodbye to somebody that's been there for a couple of episodes, and you had fun together, but then you see them again, next year.
So this is now our last question of the day from this lady in the middle.
I'll try to make it really good. Make it really good. The pressure is on.
So I think that we're all really excited that Red and Granny are back. I'm kind of tying on the last one with characters that aren't on the show very long. Who are you most excited to have back in the cast for next season?
Next season? Well, I don't really know who's all coming back yet, actually. I have not heard.
No, well, once again, they don't tell us a lot. I'm excited that we're back. Really excited about that. My banker is excited about that. I imagine most of the recurring characters, like the Storybrooke townsfolk, they kind of keep us as a solid thread. So in some way, shape, or form, most of us will be back. Anybody else?
I haven't been there much this year, so I'm a little bit behind on. I'm where most of you are with season 3. I don't know a whole ton about it, but
Jamie the sheriff probably won't be back. He's doing 50 Shades of Grey. Can you believe that? Crazy. I hope Cinderella comes back. I hope Tinkerbell comes back.
All I know is that
August the Stranger, would you like to see him? Pinocchio.
Right?
We don't want to spoil it, but you guys know what happens to him? Yeah, I know.
Ladies and
how
gentlemen,
was that for an awesome final question and answer?
well, ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving a massive round of applause to the fantastic Meghan Ory and Beverley Elliott.
And watch your televisions, because you have it on here. It's gone now, so it's your last chance.
It is great. Don't forget, and maybe even go online and put #SaveIntelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, there we are.